Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas with Robin Steinmetz from Goodwill Industries, talking about the excitement of being able to see lives changed. And when you think of parents who may have difficulty parenting, they're only modeling what they received as a child. So how exciting that you're able to get in there and break that cycle of abuse or neglect.
Right.
Tell me what that means to you.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely, the staff in our parenting department are just amazing. And that is what's so rewarding to them, is being able to make an impact and help these folks, understand that while, your parents growing up loved you, there are different ways and better ways to kind of be bringing up your own child. So, it's a fantastic and rewarding, one of the many of rewarding programs that we do offer at Goodwill.
There is a cycle of abuse, but there is also a cycle of success. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So the Goodwill cycle of success, what we refer to, is actually the process in which kind of how Goodwills work. So everyone knows about the stores. So the first step in the cycle of success is donating. So we are so thankful for the generosity of our donors and for people who, provide us their gently used goods for us to sell in the stores. So that's kind of the first step. The second step is selling it in the store and someone shopping. So most people don't realize that when they're shopping, they're actually contributing to these programs and services being offered in the community. So that's just another way that, you can give back, is by shopping Goodwill. It's for everybody. We want everyone to come and shop.
Let's go back and say that again. Goodwill stores are not just there for people who can't afford to shop in Macy's.
Correct.
Goodwill stores are for everybody to shop in,
Right.
particularly those of us who really enjoy a good bargain. You find some awesome things there, don't you?
Absolutely, you do.
And it's new every day.
That's right. It's new every day, and you can feel good about it, too. You're contributing to a great cause, which most people don't realize.
I would put it like this. If you have ever been to a flea market, this is like a flea market or a garage sale on steroids.
Right.
Because you can find just about anything there. For people who like to shop, it's a fun experience.
Yeah, and we try to make it very shopper friendly. So if you're used to going to, maybe thrifting is a little, scary for you. If you're used to going to your normal TJ Maxx or anything like that, we size and colorize all the clothing. Every section, is marked. And so when you're going into the housewares or the book section or the furniture or the shoes, the children's versus the men's or women's. So we try to make it, as clean, as sized and colorized as possible, and just a nice experience for anyone to shop.
How many locations of
we
stores?
have 24 in a 10-county area. Yeah, lots of great things. And something new that we did this year, we actually opened 2 stores in the Cleveland market this year, but we also opened 1 outlet store in Stark County, just in the Belden Village area. And it is totally different than a normal Goodwill store.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, I love outlets.
Yeah.
How I kind of think of a Goodwill as an outlet. So what's different between a normal Goodwill store and a Goodwill outlet store?
So the Goodwill outlet store is really our way of trying to make sure that we are being very responsible with our donations. And so we like to rotate our merchandise as often as possible in our regular stores. So merchandise there runs a 4-week rotation. And then when it's gone through that 4 weeks, we kind of figure, it's been here 4 weeks. No one else is going to buy it in this location necessarily. So we pull it from the floor and we send it to our Goodwill outlet for kind of our last chance, pennies on the dollar kind of experience. And so everything there is sold by the pound. So clothing is sold at one price, and then what we call textiles or houseware, things like that, are sold at another price, but it's priced by the pound. So you kind of fill your cart up, you go up on a scale, they weigh it for you, and then you are... you walk away with a fantastic deal. So it's great for DIY folks, people who craft or do things like that, people who like to upcycle furniture. It's a really neat, different concept.
It sounds like a very fun experience. This is located in the Belden Village area?
Yes.
Where exactly?
It is in the Springbrook Plaza next to Pat Catan's and the new,
Yeah, it's in that plaza right there.
And something that's different, though, just so people understand, it is a different shopping experience. Everything is dumped into big blue rolling bins, and those bins are rotated, kind of snaked through the store. Every half hour, they bring out a new bin or a couple new bins. So the product is rotating multiple times a day. I think it's 4 different times. It just becomes a whole different store with new merchandise.
Sounds like you are separating the men from the boys as far as really good shoppers. You bring your eagle eye.
Right.
And you can find some amazing things, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And then go to Pack-A-Tans, get all the glitter and glue that you need to put it all together.
That's
and
exactly
do your
right.
crafting.
Yep. All your spray paint to redo the furniture.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, you could. You could reupholster whatever. Well, this just sounds like fun. All right, we've gotten that far in the cycle.
Yes.
Okay, we've gotten to the shopping part.
Right.
Okay, what's next?
Right. So the money that comes from those stores, and we talked about this a little bit already, but that goes to fund programs that help people overcome different barriers in their life and become productive citizens, and they're able to, get the job that they need, or, get reunited with their children, or learn computer skills that they never thought they would need, or, it kind of goes on and on from there. And so those folks, once they go through the programming and they're successful, are really, helping our community and making our community stronger. So when someone does get that job, they're able to pay for a new car, to pay, buy a car, they're able to buy groceries, they're able to kind of stimulate the economy, which in turn is just making all of us stronger. And so when they're able to do that, then the final part of the cycle is then they're even able to donate and start the process over again.
That was my very next question. Do you see people who have been on the receiving end suddenly become the givers?
Yes, absolutely. We see it all the time.
It's got to be. You've been there how long?
I've been there 11 years, so it's been quite a whirlwind. It's always changing. There's always, new opportunities and new ways to serve people.
And you've been there during this incredible growth spurt. From your vantage point, what does this mean to you? It's got to be so meaningful to be able to be doing something this important in the community.
Absolutely. I think being in nonprofit is fantastic, and being in Goodwill specifically has been just a dream come true. Everything that we're striving to do and just keep moving in the right direction. I know Ken sparked all of that. So we are working and doing our best to continue his legacy and make sure that we're always looking for new ways to serve people and new opportunities to do it.
Are there volunteer opportunities with Goodwill?
There are some. We do have to be a little careful with the stores because it gives us a little bit of an advantage having volunteers in our stores. So unfortunately, we can't do that. But there are a few different programs where we can have volunteers help out. And we're always looking for, we do operate an adult literacy program, and sometimes we're looking for mentors and folks to tutor in that regard. And then we also offer a really unique program. Specifically right now, it's in the Cuyahoga County area, but it's called Computers Again. And so we do accept used computers. We prefer them to be Pentium 4 or better. And then we use volunteers and sometimes people going through our programs to wipe the computers clean, to kind of rebuild them and get them ready for sale. And we sell those to low-income individuals, nonprofits, churches, and schools for a low fee of $85.
Oh, my goodness. So get everybody with a computer in their home.
Right. That is our goal.
Adult literacy. I didn't realize that. Where does that take place?
That takes place in Canton, in our community campus office location. And that is really just helping people get to a 4th grade reading level. And then they also work on some basic math skills, how to balance your checkbook and things like that.
Is there any idea how so many adults got through school without knowing how to read? There's no wrong answer here. It's a rhetorical question.
I know.
But how did we get here?
Right. I know. And I think some of it is probably, when you're thinking back to just learning disabilities and things like that, and maybe people not understanding or taking the time to kind of
not identify.
Yeah, to taking the time to really figure out what the true root of the problem was, So we do have, a really great teacher in that class, and she just really is trying to build confidence. I think at that point in time, confidence is really your roadblock.
How many folks are taking advantage of that right now?
I don't have a good number on that. I know that there's at least a dozen.
There is
coming
a
and going.
teacher who, there's at least a dozen, huh? There's a teacher who oversees it, and then if people would like to volunteer and help, I have an idea that what you're looking for are types of things to read that are of high interest to an adult, but very simple vocabulary. How do you do that?
Really, the newspaper is a great
Perfect
resource for them, to be honest with you. I know that they work with that every day.
Yeah, so interesting. And then computers. How in the world do people get along without them?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So how brilliant to have a way to take old ones. And so you need people to work on them or teach
and
computer
surprisingly
literacy.
And you really don't need any experience to be able to do it. We do have staff that can kind of teach you exactly what you need to know and how to take a computer apart. I know it sounds scary to me too.
I can't imagine taking a computer apart, but someone would think that was fun.
Right, absolutely. We've had great volunteer groups come in, and some with zero experience in that arena, and they're able to, even if you're not comfortable doing that, even just sorting through the donations and kind of sorting through what's usable, what's not usable, and what we can recycle is always helpful.
So, and normally around this time, I always say, how can we give? Well, always, whatever you have, take a look around the house. My goodness, 11 years. Think of it back then to now and all the differences. What differences have you seen in your tenure there?
Yeah, well, the biggest differences, I think, have been the community campus. When I started there, that building was so different. And with the generosity of the community, it's just completely transformed. It looks like a brand new building. And when people come in, they say, when was this built? And, it really wasn't. It was just rehabbed and just looks amazing. That's definitely been different. Another thing that has been changing over the last few years is kind of how Goodwill serves people and looking at ways to be more impactful versus serving more people. We want to serve the same amount or even less, but we want to be more impactful in their lives for longer periods of time.
You do have one of those jobs where you're trying to put yourself out of business because you don't want to be needed as desperately as you are needed. But thank goodness that you are there for all those who need you and really do need a little bit of a helping hand just to get their feet back on the ground.
Right.
I've been surprised by several of the things you've told us today that I had no idea, and I thought I knew Goodwill pretty well. What surprises you about Goodwill?
Yeah, I think it's our ability to kind of be versatile, and we're always looking for different ways to serve folks in the community. So we really are able to kind of take the needs of each community that we're in, because we are in so many different places. So we're here in Canton, but we're up in Cleveland. We're down in Weirton, West Virginia. So we're able to kind of assess the community and figure out where the needs are, and then be able to construct things and create programs that are truly, truly needed in those communities. And that's always been, what's attracted me and why I've stayed.
And to be able to adapt that way is great because, it can't be a one-size-fits-all.
Absolutely.
Robin Steinmetz, okay, let's give the website goodwillgoodskills.org. And thank you, Robin, for all you do in our community.
Thank you, Susie.